welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be making our own seed starting mix. So if you want to find out how to do that, then just keep on watching. So just a little disclaimer, I don't want you guys to feel like you have to make your own seed starting mix. If you are a beginner gardener or you're just planning not to make that much, like plant that many things, you can definitely just buy a pre-made bag of seed starting mix at your local store. And that's perfectly fine. Because I'm planning on planting a whole lot of stuff, I really think it's just more cost effective if I make my own seed starting mix. But if that's not you, that's completely fine. Just buy the seed starting mix. If you are like me and you're planning on planting a lot of stuff, then keep on watching and learn how to make it with me. So before we get into it, I think it's really important to just talk about seeds. Seeds already have everything that they need to grow, to germinate. For your seed starting mix, you don't really need it to be jam-packed with nutrients, fertilizer, or anything like that, because the seed already has everything it needs to actually grow. Your seed just needs water, oxygen, and warmth to grow, and that's something that you can provide for it. So when we supply all of those things, it grows. And like I said, since the seed already comes with everything that it needs to grow, we don't need to supply those nutrients or fertilizers in the beginning. We might need to do that later, but that's another topic. But for now, just to start the seed, we don't need all that. So what are the best conditions for your seed to grow? The best conditions for your seeds to grow is in a nice loose medium that it can spread out and grow, right? You don't want any resistance on that seed to pop out and grow. What's the difference between seed starting mix and potting soil? So the difference between seed starting mix and potting soil is that potting soil has a lot more than a seed starting mix. Potting soil tends to have some nutrients, some type of compost, fertilizer, anything like that. On top of that, it's not as loose. Sometimes you could find wood chips in it and just like heavier material that might make it hard for your seed to pop through and really grow without any resistance. Now you can definitely start your seeds in a potting mix if that's all you have. I've seen people that actually have potting mix and they just shift it so that all the big pieces they don't use, or they put it in their compost bin, and then the rest, what comes out, which is a finer material, they use that as their seed starting mix. So you could definitely do that if you don't have seed starting on hand or it's not accessible to you at the moment. So you can definitely do that. But if you have that option, definitely go with a seed starting mix or create your own. Ultimately, we just want something nice and loose for your seed starting mix, and that's where we get into how to make it. So let's start. So you're only gonna really need 2 ingredients, but those ingredients are interchangeable, so you really have 4 options. So for the first category, you want something that holds moisture. So in this category where it holds moisture, you're gonna want something like peat moss or cocoa coir. And then for your next category, which is something that helps with drainage, which is something that you want, we have perlite and vermiculite. So you can interchange with category A and category B. You can use all 4, or you can use one of category A and one of category B. It's up to you. Those are just the main things that you can use. So for me, I'm going to be using today from category A, peat moss, and from category B, perlite. I don't have vermiculite available to me in my local store, sadly. When I checked, they're apparently out of stock. So I'm using perlite. These ingredients that I mentioned in category A and in category B are things that you would typically find in your own, in the seed starting mix that you would find in your big box store. So we're just using the same things that they would use. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. For the measurements that we're going to be using today to create our seed starting mix, you're going to want 2 parts of category A to 1 part category B. So for me, that's going to be 2 parts peat moss to 1 part perlite. Don't feel like you have to use peat moss if that's not accessible or sustainable to you. You can definitely use coconut coir. Coconut coir retains moisture similarly to how peat moss does, so it's a nice alternative. When it comes to perlite and vermiculite, they're both inorganic material and are both great for drainage. So these are the ingredients that I'm going to use. So what ingredients are you guys going to use? Is it going to be the same thing that I'm going to use, or are you guys going to have something else? Are you going to mix it up? Let me know down in the comments below. So let's get started. So now I'm actually going to show you guys how to make your own seed starting mix after all of that information. That is very necessary to know. Let's start. So I don't want you guys to really worry about measurements per se. It's just 2 parts of category A, 1 part category B. What your measurement should be, it doesn't have to be, oh, a cup of this to a cup of that. It can just be whatever container you have, 2 of that container and then 1 of that container. Now while you're mixing it up, you want to make sure to wear protective gear like a dust mask, because vermiculite and perlite both have a dust particles that isn't okay for you to inhale. You don't want to inhale dust, so just make sure to wear your mask while you're doing it so that you don't inhale anything that you shouldn't be inhaling. After you mix all of that up, just make sure to add water. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to boil some water and add that boiling water to my mixture, just to make sure it kills any fungus gnats that it may possibly have. There isn't a guarantee that it has any or not. It should be a sterile mix, but just in case I feel safer, might as well, if I'm going to add water, to add boiling water. But feel free to add water however you want to. I'm just going to boil mine. Now while watering, please make sure not to overwater. You want to start off by putting in a little bit each time and mixing it up. You'll know when to stop by grabbing a portion of the seed starting mix and squeezing it. So when you grab a scoop of the seed starting mix and you squeeze it, no water should come out, but it should still be moist. So that's kind of how you know if you have a good amount of water in there, but you again don't want to overwater. So that's how you make your seed starting mix. I hope you guys like this video. I am not a professional whatsoever. I am a beginner gardener. So if you guys want to keep going in my journey and learn with me how to make everything and how to start everything, that's going to be amazing, and I really hope you guys come along in this journey with me. So stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to be starting my seeds and going into detail on how to start every seed that I make. So I hope you guys tune in to all of my videos that I have coming up. So make sure to like, hit the notification bell down below so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. Comment, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!